Welcome back. Producer Charlie joins me now to talk all things Amazing Race from last week's episode.
Okay,
Here
let's
we
get
go.
into it. Okay, so we're still in Thailand, but now the teams had to take a taxi to a agricultural village. I think it was like 40 minutes outside. So when they get there, they have their first roadblock. So they go to this lovely, beautiful lotus farm.
This is amazing.
It is very beautiful.
Wouldn't that be amazing to see in real life?
But here's the thing. So only one person from each team had to go.
Yeah.
But they had to wade out into this pond. Catfish swimming all around. Some of them lost their shoe in the mud.
Oh my goodness, it would be so fun though.
But they had to create 2 bundles of traditional
Like a
traditional
bouquet
bundles, yeah,
kind of thing?
kind of. So they had to have
Yeah.
these. I think it was, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bulbs and some leaves, and they had to.
It sounds so easy, but it's one of those things that they are always so particular about.
Right.
So I know it took a lot of them, like
some
what,
of them had
12,
like
16 tries?
I think the highest was 15. And some of them were getting frustrated. Like they were there, one of the first teams there, and then one of the last ones out.
And as a viewer, I have to say sometimes it's kind of like, okay, let's move on as well.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that they're thinking the same thing.
What I found funny was one of the Texas dad. I don't think he even understood he was supposed to do a pattern, and he eventually figured it out somehow. Because it was funny just to watch him. He's like, I don't know why they're not like
just
liking
do it right.
this,
And,
right?
Yeah, they don't give you instruction, and that's kind of how they do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then our next one, so they get their clue from here, and then they go to this next location to get their detour. So with the detour, there's it's stock up or scoop up. So for the stock, we're gonna start with the stock up. The stock up, they got a list of ingredients.
But they were written in like
They were phonetically spelled out. That way they knew how to pronounce them, and that way they couldn't just show the paper to the people at the
say it
market.
To people and to get help as
and they had to get all of these different ingredients and take them to a grocer. And then if they got that, they got to go through their clue.
Yeah.
But then for scoop up, they had to go to a pomelo farm, I guess you'd call it a farm, and scoop up pomelos into their little boat. Which, have you ever heard of a pomelo?
I had not.
I had not, and it honestly looked good, and I kind of want to try one.
I would love to try it.
But they had to scoop them up. And one of the teams actually overloaded their boat, and the boat is under the water here.
So which one would you have chosen? Do you do more of the physical, or do you do more of the mental?
See, I was thinking that. I feel like it'd be fun to do the scoop up one. But I'm not 100% sure on that.
I always would pick the physical challenge.
Right. But the bad thing is you don't overly know exactly how it's going to be until you get to that challenge.
Right.
Because some teams turn around.
It is always harder than you think it's going to be.
Yes.
I know that.
Yeah. So then once they finished, with the pomelos, they had to fill 5 baskets full. So a lot of them had to go, they had to go back out and forth several trips. Yes. Yeah. But then we get to our pit stop, which was a beautiful garden along the river. A lot of our teams stayed the same order as last week, which was interesting to see.
Because a lot of times they will give us legs that are kind of like a catch-up, or it kind of flattens the
where you don't know
distance.
the order. It's going to be totally different. But we had our same teams in almost the exact order. And then, unfortunately, our team that got out was mother-daughter duo Elizabeth and Ileana. They almost came in last on the first leg, so honestly, wasn't too surprising to see that they came in last this time.
Very sad, but I kind of think that who stood out to me was Jocelyn and Victor, because they showed how strong they are as a team. But then the preview for next week makes it look like they're kind of in trouble. So is that?
I don't think I saw the preview for next week.
Is that editing, or is that the truth? You know what I mean?
Well, and this is their wedding anniversary they're doing it for, too. And they came in first both legs so far. So it'll be interesting to see this.
They just work really well together.
Right.
So
it'll be very interesting to see the order of tomorrow.
Okay, who are you still thinking is going to win?
I'm really rooting for Rob and Corey, the deaf father and son duo. Do you have somebody you're rooting for?
I think that the team that keeps coming in first, maybe.
Jocelyn and Victor.
They, just because I watched them work well together, it's not necessarily who I thought to begin with, but now I'm really rooting for them.
And they work together every day in their supermarket they own.
Well, that's true.
So they, they know how to work as a team.
Yeah. So a lot of times the couples come on, and whether it's a couple or whether it's a father and daughter or whatever, and you start seeing them, how they fight or how they get along, how they work through things. Do they get upset with each other? It all comes out.
Right.
All right, well, the Amazing Race returns tomorrow evening at 8:30 here on CBS, or catch up anytime on Paramount+.